thought we were live for all that part before.
And boom, and we're live. And good evening and welcome to another edition of Life is People. And well, tonight it's a kind of catch up on, we were just saying before we went live, it's been a few months since we last spoke. And so before we go any further, how are you doing tonight, Will?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Oh yeah, glad to see you again.
Okay, well, obviously since we last spoken, there's been a few developments. So I mean, for people who, I think we'll make this clear from the start. People, we'll give links to where people can find out more detail, so we don't get into a too in-depth discussion. But just briefly, I mean, a lot has sort of gone on. So sort of give me a sort of a brief overview where Safe App Store's gone and what you sort of where you are to now, and tell us obviously more about SafeFS and what all that and more about that, please.
Yeah, well, it's been so long since we last talked, so there's been so much that's happened. I mean, for the App Store, we've released the new versions, the new designs on the Droplet Test Network, making it work with those. And then with SafeFS, we've been getting it going, and we've had the first couple of weeks of the sale. It's going to be ending really soon, and we've been talking with people on the forums who've been investing in the SafeFS coin, and that's led to some, like, people have given like some really uncensored feedback about everything, and it's been great. So we've made a couple pivots, like the the profit sharing program. Nobody really liked how it was laid out or in the documents or anything, so we made the new page where it's built into this SafeFS app, and people can claim their profits there, autonomously straight through the app, and I think that's really been an improvement. So, back and forth between the community is, like, David Irvine keeps on saying, it's priceless, and a lot of companies pay a lot for these kind of feedback systems, but you can't beat what we have just right here on the forums, just talking with everybody. But and yeah, and you've had your app and your sale, and that's been great, and people are starting to see that come together, and so yeah, so much has happened since last time, and yeah, it's just still there.
Yeah. Let's take this right back to almost the fundamentals. I mean, what does the safe, and you've got FS, what does the FS stand for, and what will that mean from the average user? So I'm an everyday person, I'm going to go along and I'm going to see safe FS, what's it going to offer me, and again, what does the F and the S stand for?
File system. So you have NTFS, or you have XFAT, or these different file systems, and this is we just kind of use that name for ours. And right now, what we have concrete is it's going to be the web app. We've had the first week of the funding, and we have the 10,000. So the web app is definitely going to happen. And then further down the line, SafeFS could be the mounted file system that we've been talking about for a long time. We've had it in the potential apps websites, and so a drive that you could mount on your computer, and then you could look at all your safe files, the public and private, and then also search, like we've had on our mock-up. So searching through Safe Network and public files. Looks like I'm losing. Okay. No, I got you. So yeah, everything that's been on the mock-up and the pages that you can see now, basically turning that into a Safe Network version where everybody could access everything, search for everything, and could even support this Safe App Store, because if you're searching for something and it's an app, you could see it listed on SafeFS, and then maybe a little link that would take you to the App Store result of that. So the two projects could be really beneficial together. There could be a lot of synergy, and so I'm just really excited for the future.
Now, from a user perspective, I mean, let's project this into a sort of a slot in a time in the future. Will this be free to me as the user, or will I have to pay to use this app?
No, it's yeah, like you say, just the average user. So sometimes I compare it to, like, a Windows Explorer when you just open up your files on your computer. So you see all your files except these would be the safe network hosted files, which is really important. And the second part of that, oh, will it be free?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. It's not a store. It's just for looking for your files. I know we had cost in the mock-up, and yeah, and we're thinking about maybe having an option where people could put a price on their files, and things like that. But there are just so many unknowns right now with just how the network's going to play out, how it's going to, change the economics of just file sharing and everything in general. So, we'll see how that plays out and make the right decision. But it would just, I mean, for example, it'd be really easy when the Safe Network comes out to one person buys a file and then uploads it back to the Safe Network, and then everyone has it for free. So we're still playing with ideas there about adding cost or just making everything free, which I think will be the case. But so yeah, so you see all your files like when you log in your computer, and definitely the service will be completely free, but we're playing with the idea of letting people charge for their files or not.
Okay, and where do you foresee? I mean, you mentioned it earlier on. The integration of SAFECOIN. I mean, how do you see that sort of intertwining with what you're offering? I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, apps on the Safe Network are earning SAFECOIN based on how many people are using it, how many GET requests are made, and then with the SafeFS coin, that represents how much of that profit is sent to that owner when you issue your claim. So the apps are generating SafeCoin, N99 generating SafeCoin, SafeFS generating the App Store generating, and how we're doing it is, our coins represent how much of that is sent to each investor each month, all in SafeCoin. Just how the safe coins are divided up each month, and the governance model for voting.
Okay, I mean, from your perspective as well. I mean, you mentioned it earlier on as well. I mean, what are your thoughts on pay the producer? Now, again, to overview this for anybody who maybe listen to this in a future date, then there's a lot of places, and I will put links up where they can find out about the debate around pay the producer. But what are your thoughts on it? Because it's not often I get to speak to other people who are kind of building apps around the Safe Network, and we at Nine. I mean, I've always flown the flag for it. I think it's a very I don't want to sort of speak upon that anymore because people can go back and find about my opinions. But someone else is building an app on the other side of the world. How do you feel about it?
Pay the producer. Oh, I feel like I've been one of the really strong advocates of pay the producer, and I think it's always been. I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think it's, from what I've seen, it's always been real core to the Safe Network and the vision. It's for content producers. They're getting paid on the gets for their own content that they upload, and I mean, we've had conversations on the forums a lot, but I think it's really important because it just incentivizes people to use the network and upload they have to pay to put files on the Safe Network. They have to pay SafeCoin. So this actually gives incentive for people to do that in the first place, because they can upload their files and then they'll get a return on that if they're popular. And I think you really need that to create the whole ecosystem of popular content going on the Safe Network in the first place. So yeah, I think you and me have been in agreement of that pay the producer is really crucial for success here.
Well, yeah, I do, and I mean, like I said, we don't sort of speak on that overly than what we have done before, but I think this sort of links into maybe the question I was going to sort of ask you before now. I mean, since we last spoken, have you seen any changes in your circles as word of the the Safe Network starts to sort of filter out into more of the public? And obviously, there's been some big events in the sort of crypto world since we last spoken. We've had the DAO up and down, and we've had Ethereum come up and down, and obviously there's been events around MaidSafe. Let's not shy away from that. So, I mean, from when we last spoken about, has this percolated more into the, you know, the environment you're around there in San Francisco? Do more people sort of speak about Safe Network? I mean, how's it sort of being approached? You know, here we are in mid sort of 2016.
Yeah, I mean, my circles have changed. It hasn't really been relate to the project a lot, but you know, Paige moved away a long time ago now, and then Daniel moved to, I think it was Sacramento. So I was by myself in San Francisco. At least, you know, in terms of Made Safe, I was by myself there for, you know, a good amount of months, and now I'm kind of, I mean, you know, I live in the van, I travel a lot, so now I'm down here in Florida. There were a couple of meetups, a couple of groups I really wanted to get involved in, and you know, talk about safe, and I could tell you about that too. I've done a lot of those, just kind of getting the word out to new places. So I started in San Francisco, then I went to LA for a bit, did a couple there, and Texas, did a couple meetups, and now Florida, and might be going again, but because our teams all work, you know, over the internet, so it gives me a lot of freedom to be able to go to these different places and really, you know, plant the seed, get people thinking about decentralization, Made Safe, and SafeFS. So, I mean, we have our whole marketing page on the SafeFS.io. So, and yeah, I'm going to release a couple updates with a lot of pictures and, you know, just descriptions of conversations and everything that's been happening with that. Probably just right after this, on Safe Network forums and our forums, and so yeah, I have a lot of pictures to give out, and that's been great. So yeah, just in terms of the circles again, it's kind of shrunk. It's back to just me again most of the time. But it's been great too. It's been really enabling because it's so important that we get the message out there of the Safe Network. And I know it's still really early, but just to keep people thinking about it and planting the seeds, getting it started all as many places we can. I think it's really important.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, I don't want to sort of overly speak about that in this conversation, but I think as the days go on, and particularly from where I'm in, yeah, this is essential. And the reason I ask about this because I'm always fascinated to see how the perspective of actual the Safe Network is coming out in the outside world in relation to, you know, are people being, you know, generally awakened about cryptocurrencies, and, you know, that sort of thing. But to go back to sort of focuses around what you're doing with, with SafeFS. So you mentioned, you know, obviously people can go out there and get involved in the crowd sale and stuff. Now, again, how can people get involved, and what are they going to get if they put some of their, I mean, well, even to step back from that, are you can people buy in what Madecoin, Bitcoin is but what will people, if someone I go out there tonight and I want to go and buy and be involved in this, what will I get back from my investment, for any sort of money I put in?
Yeah, so it's Bitcoin and Made Safe Coin. And then it's just safefs.io/crowd sale. But I mean, you should definitely read every page and read everything you can. And yeah, and then that Bitcoin Made Safe Coin, it would buy you SafeFS coin, SFSC. And we do think we're looking at a couple of crowd sale options, but we do think we're going to go with the Omni Core again and make it just like the Safe App Store coin, make it a Omni asset. So Bitcoin Made Safe coin, you buy it and then you'll get sent back the SafeFS coin to your wallet, the same address that you sent from, and you can use that with Omni Wallet to send or receive, and it represents your everything's in the documents. You should read those too, but you can use those to SafeFS coins. You can use them to vote in, you know, different decisions we'll have for the app in the future. You use those, you send them and you receive to vote. And I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into it, but it's like, it's all laid out there. But it's, say you have your wallet and you have, you know, 50,000 SafeFS coins. You would just send one coin to your to the voting address, and then it gets sent back, and then that counts for your whole 50,000. Gets, you know, say you wanted to vote yes, that you send one, get it back, 50,000 counts for yes. So, you know, we can look at the balance of that address, and then 50,000 gets. So that's a little bit on how the voting works. And then a portion of the profits from the app every month or get totaled up and then sent to everyone who issued their profit claim for the app. So it's really similar process, and it might be fully automated, but yeah, I mean, everything in the documents, it shouldn't get too nitty gritty right here. You should, but I don't know if that answered your question well enough.
No, that's. I mean, I'm always bearing in mind that, you know, there'll be people listening in the future, or, you know, roundabout, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll have a really clear view, and I think you did it, you know, very eruditely. Now, I mean, obviously, sort of, Will, I mean, we you know, you give a very great overview of what's going on. I mean, I'm people watching it now can see you even got, you know, your SafeX t-shirts, and obviously, and you've had your coin flowing and stuff. Now, one of the things that I think, coming from perspective, and this is a discussion that's been sort of bouncing around the forum from definitely from my angle. I have you know, I've had them to come to me and say, why haven't you floated, you know, your N99 seeds on Bittrex or Polonius or etc. etc. And I've got a very kind of clear stance on this. Now, again, this is something you've done this. And how have you found this in the world of floating it in different markets? And what's your sort of thought process behind that? Because I'm fascinated, because I've done maybe a completely opposite view to sort of maybe where you've gone. And I'm interested to know what it's like from your perspective, how you found it, and what your plans going forward with that.
I mean, ultimately, I do think it's, you know, it would be good for the project to put it on these exchanges. Because, you know, each project is, you know, you have your short-term investors, then you have your long-term investors, and they each kind of have different goals, but in the end, they all support the project and help get it funded and help get it created. So, so you should kind of cater to both of them, but also keeping in mind what's best for the project. So, you know, a couple of people have messaged me, and we've had long discussions about this, about putting SFS coin on different exchanges, and I've gotten their permission. I might release some of those on the forums too, so people can read them. But I do think it's good, and I mean, MadeSafe's been doing it. They've been putting their coin on these different exchanges and trying to get it out there as much as possible. And have different type of, it's like our coin value is like our stock value, you know, it reflects on us as a company. So it should, you know, it should be something we're thinking about. But yeah, and I've, you know, definitely been watching the other sales, and probably Project Decorum is, I mean, the most relevant right here is it was kind of put on really quickly before any you know, huge developments have been made since the sale. You know, there haven't been, you know, a new version of PDC come out, or a new and I mean, nothing bad against the project. It's just, you know, it's just too early right now. You know, he needs the structured data API. But anyway, so and then they just put it on, I think it was Bittrex, and you know, people were mad because the price went down. But so yeah, you know, the goal is to get it on these exchanges, and I mean, we're looking at Bittrex, Polonius, Yangbao, and but as a lot of people have told me in the message, it's really good not to do it too soon, or before any major updates have come out, or any, you know, any substantial progress. So definitely, you know, we will put it on these. We've made that clear, but, you know, we've spent a lot more time thinking about when would be the right time to do it, and, you know, after a certain amount of progress has been made, and after certain things have been released, and we're getting closer to this every day. I mean, looks like the test networks are coming to a close, so and then hopefully a lot more of the APIs will be coming out, so for app developers. So So we're getting closer to that every day. This might not even, yeah, this conversation might really change just in a couple of weeks here, but yeah, we're definitely looking to put them on, and then, but we wanted to make sure we have enough news and different developments that have been finished to push it to the right place when we do put it on these exchanges. So so yeah, those are my views on that. Oh, I think I lost you. Oh, okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, again, and just sort of widen this out to a general, more of a step back perspective from someone like yourself, particularly because you're based in San Francisco. How have you found since we last spoken, how have you found the wider community amongst the coders and the programmers? Are they open to collaboration? Do you see a lot of synergy? I speak as someone who I'm finding a lot of projects there's almost a lot of them around the world are all having the same perspective, and they're all coming at it from just very slightly different angles. And I'm interested to see what your perspective over in San Francisco. Are you finding a lot of amongst the coders, who are working on other projects, is there an open mindset, or are they very much, no, I'm working on my project, heads down, I don't have any wish to even focus on anybody else's projects? I mean, how do you find the climate at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've just been doing so many of these meetups and talking to so many different people, and I definitely think, so many people see the vision, they see how it's, how the world's going towards decentralization of, money, power, everything, internet, and so we all, when it comes down to it, we all have the same vision, the same, things we're working towards. But a lot of people say, when I talk about, Made Safe or Safe Network, I'm surprised how many people have heard of it. It's great how many people have heard of Made Safe or the Safe Network. It always blows me away. And but the second question after that, or the second response I usually get after I mention Made Safe, is like, oh yeah, so it uses blockchain, right? Everybody usually says that. So, I don't think anybody's really closed off to anything deep down, but they might just, focus on blockchain things or get really excited about Ethereum or these more, specialized things because the blockchain has been proven, it's come out, everyone's used it, it's been tested and proven in, things like Made Safe. While they really have come out and been tested a lot and proven, they haven't really, not everybody has used it yet. It hasn't taken over in a huge way yet. But so that's why people I don't think they're closed off to it. But once it comes out and it's proven, I definitely think everyone will be all for it, because it's just the next step in that decentralized trajectory. So yeah, and no, everyone's been real, welcoming and honest, and they love to know about anybody else in that space, because there's so many dedicated people in that space. So yeah, I don't see too much closed off mindset.
No, that's really good to hear. I mean, this sort of builds upon something that I know, particularly myself, and and we've both been sort of really kind of focused on, and it's even mentioned a lot in your crowd sale meeting when you're talking about it. It's about the idea of marketing and getting this out. And you spoke then about meetups and stuff like that. Now, what are your plans? Yeah. If you could get to the optimum level of what you wanted to raise in your next level of the crowd sale, what would be your plans for marketing and spreading this out? Because obviously, to me, I know someone, I'm sure you know someone who flies a flag. It comes down to time and people. There's only 24 hours in a day, and there's only so much one or two people can go. So, what are your thoughts, and if you've got any, thoughts around how you'd want to really sort of expand the marketing if in the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, I keep going to meetups. I keep trying to get the word out as best I can, and yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes on Tuesday, how much we raise. But I mean, it's in terms of the projects, and we've given out the cost estimates on how much it'll take for us to accomplish each one of these with the developers we're working with. So I mean, that's kind of concrete, but with the marketing, you know, everything above and beyond that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to these meetups, but I just kind of take whatever pictures or videos I can, you know, on my own with my phone. But so it'd be great to have, you know, a camera there, and then be able to pay somebody a little bit to, you know, take pictures and, you know, a video if I do a presentation. I mean, that would be amazing to be able to start doing that. And and then, so, you know, there's those two, and then I'm talking with a couple of people, just a couple of connections, and can hopefully get, you know, someone in different parts of the country doing similar things. You know, we talk about what a presentation would be like for Safe Network and SafeFS, because they really go together. You can't really present about safe, you know, only SafeFS. You have to present about Safe Network also. So so that's great. You know, get both projects out. So yeah, for the marketing, I mean, definitely keep doing what I'm doing, and then just, you know, amplify that with the right video taking, and then multiply that by the amount of people who are doing that. So it's kind of how it's going in my mind.
Well, I mean, the sort of synergy between, well, I think it would be great, and really, I think it'd be very inspiring to me. Would be if we could sort of like break this into somewhere like Africa. And I know your past experiences, and, you know, again, people go back and listen to our previous conversation for that conversation. Yeah. But I mean, is that something you've considered about trying to, you know, break? Because I've often thought that as much as we get this maybe in certain tech cities and parts of the Western Europe, and that's great, but we need for this to really be as powerful as I think it's always, you know, the potential it's got, is when when it motivates people in you know, in Africa and, you know, Thailand and the jungles of South America. That's when we know we've really changed the paradigm. So have you had any thoughts about, you know, spreading it and opening, particularly what you're doing, into sort of Africa with your connections?
Yeah, I mean, that'd definitely be great. I haven't been, you know, as close with the guys I grew up with, because, you know, I went to international school, and they, you know, they're kind of living in all different countries right now. But no, I mean, that's definitely a great idea, and should get in touch with and try to, you know, promote some materials for Safe Network out there. I just know, like, in terms of, you know, these next couple of weeks and how things are going to go, it would definitely be a lot more achievable for just, you know, these different areas around the states. And I mean, I've been doing a lot of states, so, you know, I think that, you know, it's really powerful. It's not just San Francisco, you know, it's not just LA, it's not just Florida. It's really, you know, trying to get it out to as many of these different developer circles as possible. And but yeah, I mean, definitely breaking it out to other countries. That should definitely be the goal. I'd have to dig up some more contacts and see if they're still over there. But I mean, definitely. And, you know, when I think about longer term, it's like these things will definitely come. I mean, it's just amazing how many people would have smartphones in Kenya or things like that. So just when this technology does come out, you know, it'll be felt everywhere. But so right now I'm just trying to focus on what I know I can do right now in this time frame. But you're definitely right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the analogy that, I mean, to keep on the analogy that's very much around what we've done, you know, looking from above, maybe at an ant's nest, it looks very calm, but underneath there's a lot of stuff going on. And in relation to what you just said about the meetups, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I think more as a Safe Network is opened up and more of these apps are going to happen. I know. I mean, I can quite sort of almost project quite confidently that there'll be meetups with stuff like musicians and bands and artists and, you know, people like yourself. And this is, you know, to me, I think the real judge of when we're going to enter the paradigm shift is when we're going to have meetups that aren't just going to be coders, but they're going to have everybody. We're going to have a musician, we're going to have an artist, we're going to have an engineer, we're going to have a bread maker, we're going to have everybody, and they're all going to sit around. We're all going to, and these are things that me and you can make forges into, because as I
Oh,
think
yeah.
what the synergy we both have is we both work around the, you know, the creative people and the musicians, and I think these meetups are going to be great, and I look forward to sort of maybe, you know, maybe we can sort of something we can definitely forge away, and I'm definitely working on
Oh,
it. And
yeah.
like I say, there's a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
movement going on the scale. Well, we could have one of these, you know, meet up maybe in, you know, I don't know, you come over to Scotland and we do one over here, or I come over to LA.
Oh, yeah.
But these are definitely steps we can definitely progress into the future.
Have you been to any over there? I mean, just meetup.com, and then they should have every area. Have you kind of checked that out for your area and seen a couple? Because they have,
Well,
you
the
know, the
one
tech section. Yeah.
the
Sorry.
one I'm trying to more focus on will when it being like, again, I don't want to sort of overly speak of this, but particularly when N99 is more kind of going live, I want to have a real kind of meet up where we have, like I say, a few musicians and a few bands, and we really just sit around and we sort of like talk about. But luckily, I think this is one of the things that I particularly think. One of the things I think made Safe itself is held up with amongst a lot of people is that we don't go out and talk about things. We do things, and then when we do it, then we tell you about it. And that's why I don't really want to speak about these things, because it's a real kind of mantra of what we stand for. Is when the things are ready, then we're flying. You know, we're really shout from the rooftops. Until that moment, you know, I'm just trying to say it's just really inspiring that
Right.
there are a lot of people out there right now. But I'm sure you'd be the same as me that. You know, man, if there's anybody listening out there, please come and help us, because we need as much time and people as possible. Because as I said before,
Yeah.
you know, we need more than just, you know, someone like you, Will. We need a whole team of people out there doing much more, spreading the word than just you in San Francisco. So anyone listening, please contact. Well, on that very one, Will, where can people reach out to you? Where can people, you know, sort of, if they do, they're inspired, where can they reach out and touch you and contact you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably Facebook. I'd check the most, and I know Fabrinell's got me on there, or Francis, and I think Safe Crossroads. So yeah, just Will Gallo on Facebook, or, you know, Whiteout Mashups on the forums. Probably, you know, the things I check most on the internet are Facebook, and then this Safe Network forums. So yeah, either of those two, Whiteout Mashups on the forums, and then our project has our own forums, SafeFS or forum.safefs.io, and that's for Safe App Store and SafeFS. Been getting a lot of discussions and messages on there. And yeah, I should be pretty covered between those three. Whiteout Mashups at Gmail also on the different documents. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm always, and yeah, I know what you're talking about, how, you know, so much happening under the surface, and, you know, I definitely know the frustration of going to the forums and, you know, hoping to see everything that's going on all the time, and then sometimes it's quiet for a couple of days straight, and but yeah, you know, that's just how it is. That just means that people are working on things and they're really deep into it, and yeah, you just kind of got to trust that good things are happening, and then they come out with, you know, the Tuesday update every day, and everyone jumps on that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of just part of it right now, but hopefully a lot more things will, you know, especially after launch, when the majority of the bulk of the work is done, there'll be a lot more kind of things like this, and, you know, regular hangouts where everybody's talking, and video chats. But I know it's kind of crunch time right now. But yeah, things will definitely change. You know, I think about it, and it's like, where will we be in a couple months with Safe Network and with the apps? And it's just really exciting to think about. You know, Daniel used to talk about getting, you know, co-working spaces going together for Safe Network in San Francisco, or so yeah, you know, if it blows up like we all expect it should, then it'll be really exciting. Some of the things we'll all be able to do.
Well,
Safe incubators, you know, yeah, all kinds of things.
Well, Will, as usual, it's been an ever insightful conversation. And before we do sort of go, I mean, kind of, if anyone may be listening out there, just give anybody a heads up where they can go out, where they can get involved, where they can, how they, you know, and sort of push this forward.
Yeah. SafeFS.io, or I mean, whenever I meet anyone who's interested in the Safe Network or this area, just forum.safenetwork.com .io. And Safe Network forum, just like if anyone wants to know about Made Safe or Safe Network, that's the #1 place. All the discussions happen there. All of us have accounts there. And I wish everyone got, I don't know, I wish that doubled in size or tripled in size in the amount of people who are on there and talking. But I'm sure it will with time. Forum.safenetwork.io. Everybody.
Well, as I said many times to you before, yeah, Will, I mean, keep doing what you're doing because you're inspiring people. And I have to sort of say this, there's many people you're inspiring and you'll never get to meet, you're never going to meet these people, but, you just keep doing what you're doing because it's very inspiring. And to me, as someone maybe a bit further down the road, it's really inspiring that people your age are actually at the head of this vanguard, and you keep doing what you're doing, and as the offer's always open, any news you want to have, this door's always open. And I look forward to the day when we, like you said, we're not just talking this through Google, we're actually doing this on the Safe Network. So it's been, as ever, Will, thank you very much for your time, and I know time is precious for both of us, man. So well, for me over here in Scotland and all the way over there from San Francisco, I'm going to say life is people.
Oh yeah,